Okay, welcome back to Stories with Emefa Woayor, a space where I explore the stories behind the people, the business, and the journeys that inspire us to think differently and live more intentionally. Today's guests hold a special place in my story. Back in 2020, during COVID, I was going through one of the most difficult periods of my life. I was overwhelmed with fear and struggling mentally. I knew I needed something that would help me change my state of mind. So I started searching for something new to learn. And somehow dance came into my mind. And I searched online and found several instructors. But Mike and Ivy stood out to me. Maybe it was because Mike is an American and Ivy is Chinese. I became curious about who they were and what they had built together. So I asked for details. They gave me details and I signed up for the full package. What I thought would simply be dance lesson became so much more. Through LA Soul, I found confidence, friendships, community, and a place where people from all over the world came together through dance. Today, I am excited to finally sit down with the people behind that experience. Mike and Ivy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yay.
I noticed the name this Emefa Studio.
Yes. I'm so happy that you guys are here today. Ivy, how's your Bujian? 非常好。哇，你中文还记得，这么棒。我也很好。你也很好。我想。Okay, so let's just dive in. I will go with Mike first. How did dance find you?
Well, I was getting too old for the hip hop clubs. No. Honestly, I would go. My best friend, his name was Carlos, and he was from Colombia. And we would go to the hip hop clubs, and after we would go to the hip hop clubs, we would go to salsa dancing. And in LA, we have live dance, which is nice because you walk into the salsa club and you see like 9 guys on stage, all different colors, from black to brown to white, and they're making this beautiful music. And you watch the people and they're just flowing on the dance floor. And at that time, I couldn't dance salsa. I couldn't dance. I just do a 2-step, hip hop 2-step. And I would watch all the ladies just run to Carlos because in dancing, and especially salsa dancing, tango, these type of dances, there's usually never enough men. So you'll go to the dance and then ladies will usually ask you to dance because there's not enough guys. So I said, I got to get in on this. I can just go out to a party and the ladies run up to me. Yeah, I got to learn. So I started taking lessons and then I was terrible. I was really, really bad. It was not easy for me. Even though my teachers were very good, I was terrible at it. I was just not. But I knew one thing. I knew it was just muscle memory. I knew it's just repetition. Do it over and over again. And slowly it becomes part of who you are. And then that's how I got into it. And it just changed my life. It really enhanced and grew my life and my soul and brought me into this beautiful dance community. So, we're everywhere. That's how, that's a short.
Yeah, I think when I was searching for a dance and then I chanced on you guys, I read something that you were in a contest.
Contest? Yeah, I was in plenty of contests. When I got pretty good at salsa dancing, I got hired by one of the top studios in LA. What happened is you want to get more students. So to get more students, you have to compete in competitions. So I competed in several competitions, and some of them I won, some of them I took second, and some of them I took third, but I never took less than third. So yeah. I did a few competitions, but me and I, we've mostly done. So, and in LA salsa, there's different types of salsa. There's Cuban salsa. The most popular salsas are Cuban salsa, LA salsa, New York salsa. And then on the back end, you have Puerto Rican salsa. But LA salsa tends to be the most popular because we do a lot of tricks. It's more flashy. It's more like, so whenever you see salsa dancing in the movies, you're seeing LA salsa. And then whenever you see them doing tricks, lifts, and things like that, it's usually LA salsa because LA is part of Hollywood, and Hollywood is always fancy and flashy. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah.
I see. Okay. Hi,
He's back.
Ivy. I want to know your story. How did you know about dance and how did you start?
How did you start?
One of my friends invited me to go to the salsa dance lesson, which is Mike's has a open class, right? And before, actually, my friends told me salsa. I even don't know what is salsa. I never heard in my life. And then she showed me some videos. Say, oh, this is a very popular in the world. You have to try, and very international. So how can be very international in that time in Hangzhou? I cannot imagine about that. So
It was 2012.
no, 14 or 15.
No.
Yeah, in that time Hangzhou, I really barely to see the foreigner.
Right.
Yeah, it's really. I don't know why she told me international. Okay, so I'm going to take time and go there to Mike's open class. So Mike's my first salsa teacher. And I see really international. And I can come like 80% people all come from different countries. Of course, in China and Europe, different place. So Mike's teaching is very fun, very international feeling, like American style.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Decided to start a salsa.
You like it?
That. Yeah, I got a whole lot of the happiness in that class.
You understand? And most Chinese people still don't know what is salsa dancing, even today. But they all know what is tango, but they don't know what salsa dancing is for the most part. So they're still growing in China.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So Ivy, how long did it take you to get confidence in learning the dance?
I think at least 2 or 3 years. I remember like the first 2 years, Mike, you invited me to be your co-teacher.
Yeah.
And then one of the students say, this is a fatty teacher. Yeah, in that time, I was a little bit fat, So
she was curvy. She was curvy. She wasn't fat. But in China standards, that's fat.
Yeah, in
that time, I still like a little bit curious about that. But after 2 or 3 years later, I feel like, I'm the queen. Yeah. That's why we met, queen and the queen together.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. That's so sweet. So in the beginning, were you scared? Was it scary?
Yeah. I cannot say scared, right?
Yeah, scared, nervous.
A little bit nervous, but it's not that nervous. I just feel like it's so exciting to learn something new. I never heard, I've never seen. This is a very new thing for me. I think it's more exciting about that.
Yeah.
But also a little bit scared about that because I don't know. And dance very good, but more and more people told me like, Ivy, you dance very beautiful. So actually, those people also build my confidence. Mm-hmm. They help me a lot. Yeah.
True. That's very true. I agree. Oh, wow. That's so nice to know. This question goes to Mike. Mike will talk more because, most of the question will be directed to you more. So what made the two of you decide to turn dance into business instead of keeping it as a hobby or passion?
I never wanted to have a studio. It never was in my mind. I was happy just teaching psychology and English and sociology in the high school here. And I was working for another guy, and I just felt that he wasn't managing the classes right. And Ivy and I would talk about it. By this time, Ivy and I were dating, and she said, we should open our own studio. I'm like, I think so. Yeah, that was her idea.
That? You did?
That was her idea. Yeah.
Thank you,
Ivy. How they say behind a good man is a good woman. Yeah. So she convinced me to open a studio, and I was worried. I was like, well, we're not going to have students. She says they'll all follow us here. So we opened a studio, and she was right. They all followed us, and we did very, very well. And it was very successful. We made, many friends from all over around the world, everywhere around the world. Yeah. And, we're both, Ivy's incredibly sociable. She loves people. She loves being around people. She loves talking to people. She loves finding out things about people. She loves being around people who make her happy. That makes her happy. And I love teaching.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked out together. So we're a little, you took in our classes. Our classes a little bit mixed up, social, having fun, joking, and then learning at the same time. And as opposed to some Chinese style teachers, they teach more strict. They don't make the class fun, but where I'm from, we make the class fun. The class has to be fun as well as educational. So I take a little bit of what I learned from LA and I put it in my classes here.
That's nice. That's nice. One thing I notice about LA Soul is that your community isn't just Chinese or foreigners. It's everyone together. Was building a multicultural community intentional, or did it happen naturally because of the combination of you and Ivy? Is it because of the combination, or?
Yeah, I think so because, I think it's a little bit of both. They come because they're curious, and they stay because of Ivy. Ivy makes everybody feel very, very comfortable.
Comfortable, yeah, that's true.
And because you come in, you're learning dancing, you feel nervous, especially when you dance like that. But she makes everybody comfortable and feel happy. And really proud of her because she's become the #1 dancer in our city, a city of more than 2 people. Yeah, for a salsa dancer, she's the queen now. If you've seen her dance, but for people who haven't seen her dance, you'll understand why. She's trained with the best. We've brought the best top teachers from all around the world, from Cuba, from LA, and she's trained with a 1-to-1, and she's just grown beyond my expectations. So she's a delight and a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for both of you, and happy for her as well. So, I found you during COVID when I was mentally struggling. I wanted to learn something that would change my state of mind. And dance did exactly that. Did you ever imagine dance could become that kind of healing for people? And has dance had that same effect on you personally?
You want to do that one? She's asking if, because it affected her life, and COVID time was rough, because.
Yes, it was rough for me mentally.
Yeah. I mean, we had to go, for people who don't know, in China, we had to go once a week or sometimes twice a week. They put a cotton swab up your nose and shove it up in there and then put a test. And you had to carry your QR code with you everywhere. And if it turned yellow, you get quarantined. And it was rough. I know. I really know. So, and we thought that we were going to have to close the studio, but people want to dance even more. People needed to commune and be around other people even more. So, yeah, don't you think so?
Yeah, I think maybe just at the tough time, you want to more relax, and you find some peaceful place. So that's why LA Salsa here.
Yeah, it was great. We did okay during COVID, but sometimes the government would come over and say, okay, you got to shut your studio down.
Yeah, close.
well, half mile away, the other studio, they're still open.
Yeah, they never close, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Several times.
Yeah.
But still, I think that's people more hungry. You want more exercise,
People were definitely, is there class night? So we did okay during COVID. We made it through. And people needed us, even a little bit more, I think, because like you said, people were going through mental breakdowns and existential crisis. They were feeling a lot of pressure because of what was going on and the uncertainty of getting sick and not knowing what's going to happen to them or their grandparents or people around them were passing away. So everybody was worried. And so the good thing about dancing is if you're angry, you can dance. If you're happy, you can dance. If you're sad, you can dance. It's the healing. It's all, yeah, it's all emotion. It's all a healing aspect, a spiritual healing aspect that no matter what you're going through, it'll help you get through it.
Yeah.
I think you can speak to about that, right?
Yeah, I did. Of course. I'm a living testimony to that. So that's why I wanted to know if it had the same effect on you, or like, did you know, like when you guys started this studio, did you know it won't just be a dance? It can be something that can have this effect on someone, like a healing effect on someone.
Well, I remember, I'll tell you a quick story. I remember there was, I'm not sure if you were here during that time. I know you were during this time you were a part of the studio, part of our student base. But I remember somebody got sick, and one of the other students, it was after a party, and somebody got sick, and one of the other students, a couple of the other students, took that person to the hospital and stayed with them.
Oh.
That's what, and that's what the community was about. That's what it's all about.
It's a beautiful community.
Right. The students become like friends and family. We had some students get married, they had kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, this is how I met my wife through dancing.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. Yeah. So when someone walks into your studio for the first time, they probably see salsa, bachata, tango, or kizomba as this huge mountain they could never climb, How do you help someone get past? Because it happened to me. How do you help someone get past that fear? I got there. I saw Ivy dance with all the moves. You dance. I'm like, no, I can't do this. So when someone comes there, how do you help? How do you help someone like that go past that fear?
Into the group to let students know when I was learning and how bad I was at the beginning. And I showed that video to the students, and they say, they could see, oh, my teacher was terrible. He was a beginner like me. So if he can do it, then I can do it. Yeah.
When I might feel like I do more socialized parts, so I will always talk to them and give them, how to say, the warm feeling. Even I will reach out to them. I say, hey, what's the feeling about the class? Or do you want to talk? See, let you more and more, we can trust each other. So once we trust each other, when you come to the studio, you will feel like, I like here. And once you like here, you will use your confidence, and you will feel more flow when you're dancing and you talk to people, So I want to feel like I give you as much as I can, the best service.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. That's why we like LSO.
Do you remember when we had the cheap out party?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I still remember.
And you wore that, I think you wore the blue, like a blue turquoise cheap out. I'm not sure what color it was.
It's green. I think green. Let me find it. If I think you can find your photo. Give me a second. You can talk and let me find it.
No, I have so much
I was
fun
like, look at this.
To be honest with you, I had so much fun.
I was like, look at this beautiful queen in the cheap out. Wow, look amazing. You always come to class looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you learn.
Picture with Ivy with that dress. Yeah.
Yeah. We did together. Let me find it.
Yeah. But you took all the classes, I think. I think you took
all the classes. I took a full package, so I took all the classes.
Yeah, you did.
But
you even learned a little bit of
tango. Tango was the last part I took tango, but
yeah, you learned tango, you learned kizomba, you learned bachata and salsa, and you danced everything. I sure remember that.
I want to have it all.
Very good. So are you dancing still, right? You told me you're dancing still.
Yeah, I dance.
What is this?
No, it's not as I was in China.
Oh, this color. You can see red. Oh, yes, pink. It's pink. I thought it's pink. Okay, hold on.
You see,
There's
you
some
see,
more.
all these things together made LA so unique. It made LA so
Yeah.
different and unique. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
More photos. Yeah, that's it.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm curious about something. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. See, want to show you one more photo.
Yeah, I have it. I have it. Look at us.
Ooh,
Oh,
so
we were looking so
imaginary.
Yeah, that
beautiful.
one.
Yeah.
I have this.
Yeah.
I have it. I have it on my Instagram, even. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay, this one, the last one. You and me
Mhm.
together.
I have this too. I have this too. That's
Yeah.
me and you.
Spicy, spicy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
This is
Okay.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is really good. As for elders, so to be honest with you, that's why when I started this, I'm like, no, this is I have to interview you guys. I have to. Yeah. So I have another question. What makes a good dancer? Is it talent? Is it genetics? Is it culture? Is it practice? Or something else entirely? Because I'm black. When I
Mhm.
came to LSO, right? There's this big expectation with my colleagues. They see me, oh, you are black. You can dance. You don't have any
Right,
problem. You don't have, they put so much pressure on me. And to be honest with you, I was just like them. I don't know nothing.
right.
Yeah, I'm curious. What makes a good dancer? Is it genetics, culture,
No, I'm
practice?
glad you said that. No, it's very interesting. When I first got into salsa dancing, I didn't know anything about the history about it.
Mhm.
And then later I found out that all the rhythms and the music in the salsa music that we hear, all the beats are
Mhm.
straight 100% African
Mm.
and specifically from West Africa.
Mhm.
And a
Yeah.
lot of the times we have Africans come through to learn and they don't even know that. They don't even,
No.
just nobody teaches. Yeah. So it's 100%. The rhythms that you hear in salsa music is 100% African, 100%. Now
Oh,
the music
wow.
that you're on top of that, is Black American jazz.
Oh,
So you
wow.
say, wait a minute, Michael, you're taking African rhythms and mixing it with Black American jazz. And this is black music, right? Pretty much, yes. But why do we call it Latin? Well,
I
one
don't
of the reasons we call it Latin is because when it was brought to New York, the Puerto Ricans, they fell in love with the music because it was all sung in Spanish. Because the Cubans who brought it to New York, they spoke Spanish. The black Cubans spoke Spanish because that's the language of their slave masters. In America, we speak English because that's the language of our slave masters.
Mhm.
So the Puerto Ricans were listening to this amazing jazz music with African rhythms being sung in Spanish. So they said, oh, we got to have this. We got to have it. So when we started moving on to R&B, hip hop, and soul music, and we
Mhm.
left salsa behind, the Puerto Ricans carried it. They took it and they carried it and they kept it alive. So they could call it whatever they want. They decided to call it Latin music. That's their prerogative. So most teachers will teach, the good teachers, I would say, would teach the history of salsa and let everybody know that this is black African rhythms mixed with Harlem jazz, and they'll let you know. But we call this Latin because it's a mix of everything now. Because now it has become a mix of everything. Latin culture is in there, African culture is in there, American culture is in there, Chinese culture is in there. Everything's mixed. And salsa in Spanish is sauce, so it's just a mix, which is a mix of everything. So the original question is, what does it take to become a good dancer? Repetition. Doesn't take talent. Some people pick it up faster than others. Like you said, you're black and you couldn't get the grasp a little bit at the beginning. I'm black. I was terrible when I started. I was really, really bad. But it's just repetition. So for people out there feel, oh, I can't dance. You can, if you can eat, right? You learn how to pick up a fork and eat. You learn how to ride a bike. Anything you learn from repetition can be applied to dancing. It's just repetition. Do it over and over again. We always say G-E, so memory. So that's, I would say, 90% of how to become a good dancer. Just don't give up. What do you want to add something?
Yeah. I think everybody started all different. Some people they listen to music even when they was baby, and then maybe they learn lots of dance when they was kids. So some of them might never tried, right? Even never sports, maybe only sports just like walking, So everybody's different, but we come to the same studio and then we learn together. Of course, some people will go more faster because they have some background, sports background, or after something like experience of dancing.
Or they grew up in Latin America.
Yeah. Or they grew up in the Latin American. The music just beautiful then. Yeah. So different people's different, but as long as you keeping dancing, you were getting better. So you were getting better in your own zone, right? Yeah, that's what I want to say. So learning something new and build it up from 0 to 1 is a very cool thing, I think.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I would say a good 75% of students give up too soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then a good 10% will keep going on, and then they'll find a girlfriend or a boyfriend and they'll drop out.
And then
and then we'll.
That's true. Lots of students like that.
Yeah. And then usually that's why the community is, you'll see the best dancers, because these are the people who don't give up. These people say, no, I'm sticking with this no matter what. I got a girlfriend, I'm still going to dance. I got a new job, I like to move, I have to go to another country, I'm still going to dance. And that's why when you go to the salsa clubs, you see all these people just flowing dance. These are the people who just chose not to give up. And you see, salsa is not it's not part of Chinese history. But Chinese dancers you see are amazing. They're just killing it out there because Chinese are very much, they have structure for education. Chinese love education and dancing is part of education. Salsa dancing is part of education because you learn and stack on top of what you learn, from knowledge base, knowing nothing, to becoming a good dancer. So you come to China and you see these guys flowing and doing Afro moves and just boom, just like, wow, how they learned that? Because they just looked at it, they just applied what they know from education to dancing, and they just did not give up. And that could be done by anybody. Anybody who does not give up can become a good dancer.
Yeah. Wow. That's very interesting because, anytime I tell people, like when I went back to Ghana and I went to dance and they asked me, who taught you how to dance? I'm like, I learned how to dance in China. And they said, no way. China? They always surprised.
Yeah.
They always surprised.
A lot of people don't know that Chinese can dance salsa.
Yeah. And then in the US,
they get down, they kill it. Koreans and Japanese too, they can rock it. And we go to Thailand, man, they get down in Thailand. So, I mean, if you out there, all my brothers and sisters out there in Africa, you better not let these people show you up. You better get out there. You better be dancing some salsa and some bachata and some kizomba, because this is part of our culture. Whether you realize it or not, it's part of your culture.
Yes.
From the year after, we're coming to Africa.
Holy cow! That's the best news ever. No, let me know, okay? Let me know. Let me know.
What do you mean, let you know? Of course, we're coming to see you.
Of course, I should introduce you to Ghana. I should be the one, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're not our only student from Ghana, but you're our number one student from Ghana.
I'm so happy. Happy.
We have students from Nigeria. We have students from South Africa. We have students from Kenya. We have students from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Martinique, all around that area.
Yeah, I'm going to receive you in Ghana. Seriously, I will receive you in Ghana.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
So, looking back, was there a moment when you realized you weren't just teaching dance anymore? You were bringing people together and creating friendship. And I asked this question because I made most of my closest friends in China because of LA Soul. So, was there a moment when you realized, no, this is no more dance. This is more than, it's beyond dance?
I'll tell you. And and the ID's got some stories too. But when it really clicked to me is we had people from maybe about 7 or 8 different countries in the studio in the class all at the same time. And then I started going around to each one and say, how do you say dance in your language? And they all give a different word from their language. I was like, whoa. I was like, this is really, truly international.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You always
Right?
say that.
Mhm.
Well, no, because Ivy had the idea of started having students write words down on the back of our board.
Oh yes, I learned something like different languages, like Russian or Spanish, you know, French.
Mhm.
So every time they students very very nice. Every time say, "Oh, I want to learn some Spanish," they say, "I'm gonna teach you."
Yeah.
Like very, I mean, okay. So we really got a really warm big family.
Right. And then so what I started doing is when we put the videos together, I'll put the flag from the country of each student on the video. So people can see how diverse this is and how this kind of dance and music brings everybody together. You know, doesn't matter what you believe, what your background is, what your religion is, what your spiritual beliefs are, what your politics are. All that stuff is put behind or put on the back burner, and the dancing and intermingling with everybody that comes to the top. The right to
Oh,
the top.
wow. Wow. That's so nice.
Changed
That's
my,
really, really nice.
changed my life. It really has changed my life.
Yeah. Yes. So, you teach classes, you organize dance parties, and somehow still show up with so much energy. When we come to the dance studio, we are many, and then you guys have to teach, like go, over and over. And then in the evening, you are at the party, and then you are at the party again, and then you are at the studio. How, where does that energy come from?
For me, when I see the student show up, I just got energy.
That's it.
Yeah.
We feed off of you guys, kind of like vampire.
Yeah. So maybe some people doesn't believe about that, but it's true.
Yeah.
Once we see the student come, my energy is getting higher and higher and higher. That's why I feel I'm perfect for this job.
Right. Everybody shows up, and then the energy just starts to rise, and then we play the music, and the energy builds on top of that. And then when we go to the party, everybody, not just our students are there, but people like all the students who used to take lessons and then they got busy. They come, they show up. People from other studios, they come to our parties, and we're all dancing together. And I make sure I play songs that are happy and that are full of energy and that make people feel good. I don't play sad music. Even when I play tango, I don't play sad tango. I play happy music. Everybody's just enjoying. Yeah. And then we'll do a line dance. I don't know if you remember the line dance where I stop playing salsa.
Yes.
Everybody sitting down who does not know how to dance salsa, everybody can get up and dance together. So I want to make the party fun and not inclusive.
And I think salsa is a very cool thing, If you think about it, if we don't have a salsa party, then when we're going to meet?
Right.
Next time.
Right.
But now, every week. So we're just like old friends, we every week meet. That's really, for me, it's a big thing.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
She's social. Very social. She loves people.
Yeah. So, when you are doing, and then exactly what she said, that's where she get the energy when she see people and, like they vibing together and all that are ready to learn. It makes her happy. It means she's in alignment with what she's supposed to do or what she like to do. Normally when you are in alignment, you don't even get tired anymore. So it's a good thing.
They say when you do what you love, it's not really working.
Yeah, I do remember times I got sick, and Mike said, "Do you want to go to the studio? Normally, you're sick, you just stay at home, relax, But he say, "Do you want to go to the studio? Even sitting there." That's true. When I go to the studio, I see the people. I even feel already getting better. Yeah, getting better. So how can I say? Maybe the doctor even don't believe it.
It's healing, Yeah. It's all healing. Even when in the COVID, when the government decided to stop the what is it called, the quarantine, to stop quarantine people, and they said, okay, we're just going to let everybody go ahead and catch COVID. See, I was sick for like, what, 5 days, 4 or 5 days. He was sick for like a week and a half. And then that was it. We're back up,
Oh,
because
wow.
your immune system becomes changed. Your immune system
Mhm,
becomes stronger. Dancing. Dancing is a sport, especially this
mhm,
type of dance. Salsa,
mhm,
same bachata, these are sports because you have to learn how to do it. And then you have to learn,
mhm,
and then your instincts start to sharpen like Spider-Man. And then
mhm,
your muscles start to define, and you become quicker, and you start to, and then not just in part in dancing, it translates outside of the dance world into your work world, into your your family world. You treat people better. You become a happier person. You're less miserable. And, when you become a happy person, you want to see other people happy. So that's why our students will show up with a friend or show up with a coworker because they want to see those people happy as well. Let me show you why I'm so happy at work now every day. Come to the studio with me. And then people will come and then they'll spread that love around. This is what we want for everybody.
mhm,
That's what
mhm,
this, that's
mhm.
ever.
That's
And then when
true.
you see a student grow from nothing, from zero, and they become a very good dancer, there's two things that can happen with that. Two things. One, they become a very good dancer, and then they stay humble, or they become a very good dancer and they become arrogant. And then you have to say, look, I still have a video of when you sucked. Okay. I'll show it to the world. I'll let everybody see it. So you got to bring them back down to the
Mhm,
humility to make sure that, you're a beginner like everybody else. Just because you're a good dancer now doesn't make you better than anybody else. This makes you more experienced. Being more
mhm,
experienced does not necessarily make you better, you know.
mhm,
So I encourage all our students to dance at every level of dancer, as long as they are respectful and treat like, we have etiquette. It's not just coming to the party and dance. We also teach etiquette. We teach men how to treat the lady, how to hold the lady, how to care for the lady when you're on the dance floor. We have two rules. You make her look, you protect the lady. That's number one. And you make her look good. That's number two. So there's etiquette involved as well. So for ladies, you want to find a good man, you know, if you don't find him at the studio or at the party, and he's chasing you around, he's trying to get you to go out on a date with him, you make him come and learn salsa dance. If he dedicates himself to learn, he shows dedication, then he shows commitment, because you have to have commitment to learn how to dance. So he shows commitment here on the dance floor, then he may be committed to you. It's a good sign.
That's true. That's very true. Oh, so building business in China could be challenging, or was it easy for you? Maybe because of Ivy. Ivy is Chinese, so maybe it was easy for you.
Ivy
Or
made it easy for me. She made it much easier because, like I said, in China it's a different culture. In
Mhm,
LA, everybody's dancing. Men dance, we dance. We even have a slogan, "Real men dance."
mhm,
So
mhm,
dancing in LA for a man is not. Even if a man doesn't dance, his friends dance. There's no shame in that. It's like it's expected, more or less. Uh,
mhm,
in China, it's different. In China, when I first came here in 2012, like I said, there were very few foreigners. So everywhere I went, I got stared at. People would stop and stare
mhm,
at me. And at first I was very uncomfortable about that. But then, I remember my liaison, the girl who was working with me, who helped me to get acclimated to China. She says,
mhm,
Michael, you're like a panda. What happens if you see a panda walking down the street? I would stop and stare. It wouldn't be aggressive. It wouldn't be like, what the hell is that panda? No, it'd be like curious. And it made me feel better. So, but the thing about dancing in China for a lot of men is not something that's looked at as, how should I say, something looked at as, something necessary or something that's cool or something
mhm,
that,
Unique.
yeah, that compliments you as being a man. In
mhm,
LA and New York and France, dancing is as a man dancing is complimentary.
mhm,
It makes
mhm,
sure let's keep the world know, or your society know, like I'm strong, I'm tough, but also I can be balanced. I can
mhm,
take a lady and I can move her around the dance floor and be delicate with her. So it's a nice
mhm,
balance. China's just now starting to come around to that understanding. When I first came here, there was stereotype or belief that for a man to dance, he must be feminine. That's finally changing now because you can be, now they start to see movies where we're dancing, men dancing, and then we're start to realize you could be dancing as part of masculinity, part of being a man, you know, not just for women anymore, especially for
Yeah.
dance partner that couples. Then this is really something that a man should do with his wife. You know, you don't, as a man, you have a girlfriend, you have a wife. You don't just go to their house or come home and just play video games all day. No, you take her out. You take her to dinner, but then dinner becomes monotonous and boring after a while. What are you going to do? Take her to a movie and let somebody else entertain your woman? Come on, dude. You take her dancing. You take her dancing. You take her
That's
dancing.
a
You let her
nice
dance,
thing.
and then you let her dance with. Yeah, you let her dance with
That's
other
a good
men.
It's
idea.
romantic.
It's romantic. It's romantic. You let her dance with the other man. You keep an eye on her. It's fine. It's safe. Okay, good. I dance with another woman. You respect the other man respect her as your wife. The other woman respect me as her husband. And then, you know, it's a little bit of, dare I say, a little bit of foreplay. It's like before, you know, you get excited, you woman go and dance, you want to play some slow song, dance with her. And you go home and go crazy on each other. You know, this is how you keep the romance alive. Take your wife and don't say, well, I can't dance. I can't dance. Learn to dance. Pick up a few steps. She will appreciate the effort. She will appreciate the effort.
And I say, now we're getting, like when people want to more dancing more, just because many people know your life also very important.
All right.
That time we might just sort of focus on working. Even in China, it's like we love to work,
Right. China's a working country.
right? We really work very hard. But now we might be get a more feeling. I needed some balance, life and social. So it's more easier for push for Chinese to dance more. This my
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
same.
So, yeah, because it's hard for you to like convince a Chinese to get out of a shell to dance
Especially
and all.
men.
So, you know,
Yeah.
sorry, especially, yeah, the men. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Because they don't
the
want
Chinese,
to. But they look good. They look good. They look got the nice clothes on. They're flowing on the dance floor. They have women just checking them out, looking at because dancing is attractive. You know, if you know how to move on the dance floor, it's attractive. It makes you more appealing to the opposite
yeah,
sex.
it does.
And
It
so,
does.
you know, but the problem is most men are afraid to start dancing because nobody wants to feel embarrassed. And when you first start dancing, you're awkward. You're looking like a baby trying to learn how to walk. You know, you got to get past that and just look for to the future when you will be a good dancer. I remember when I first started, and like I said, I have videos of my awkwardness dancing. I look so nerdy. Even my clothes are nerdy. And I would go to, in LA, there's a place called Stephen's Steakhouse where all the very top dancers go. And I would watch these guys just fluid and smooth and just shimmying. They're like, I'll never be able to, and I would watch them. I was like, you know, I'll never be like that. I'll never be able to do like, and they'll just be doing this, like, and then the ladies just be like, just drooling over them and fighting to dance with them next. And I wish I could dance like that. Now I dance like that.
Yes.
You know, it took a while to get there, but I got there because I didn't give up.
yeah.
That's deep.
That's
That's
how I'm
deep.
telling my brothers out there, my brothers, it'll change your life. It'll change your life. I don't care if you're fat. I don't care if you're bald. I don't care if you're broke. You learn how to dance. It levels the playing field, man. It levels the
It's
playing
really
field.
nice. It's really
It's
nice.
really nice. And the most important thing is you're going to be awkward when you start. It's going to be weird. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to think you can't do it. It's muscle memory. It's repetition. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
You have a cutie pie bucket. I said, listen to Mike. I'm here to change your life. And then one day you'd be like, Emefa, thank you for that. You changed my life. I learned how to dance. I got a beautiful girl now. My life has changed. Things are good. That's what I want to see. I want to see happiness all around.
Yeah. So for me, I have not.
And really quick, there's different dances to choose from. So you don't have to choose salsa. You can choose bachata. You can choose kizomba. You can choose tango. You can choose swing. I don't care. Just learn how to do a partner dance, and then watch what it happens. Watch how your whole life becomes different around you. Telling you.
Yeah. I've not thanked you guys enough about you teaching me how to dance. Seriously. I'm not a perfect, I'm not like an experienced, but anytime I go to the party, I can express myself in salsa, bachata, kizomba, like in all when they start playing the song. So it's a nice thing. It's I don't know. It's a nice thing, and thanks to you both. And I appreciate that a lot. Anytime, both in Ghana and the
Well,
US, when I go to the parties in the US too sometimes. And when I go there, and then
nice.
some people they cannot dance only salsa or maybe only bachata, but for me, all the song I get up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it
You own
it is a
all the
nice
dances.
thing. Yeah, I will admit I was a little biased when I searched for dance instructors. When I searched for dance instructors, I saw a lot of Chinese studios, right? And then I saw both of you too, right? I was a little biased. I'm like, okay, this can be a community, like a mixture, right? This can make me have both worlds, and
Right.
feel like home, right? And so I was a little biased in choosing who to go to.
That's understandable. Of course, you want to go somewhere where you're going to feel comfortable. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and
especially
then,
during that time.
right, especially during COVID time where you get on the elevator as a foreigner and all the Chinese people back away from you.
Not only for foreigner, we back everybody.
Yeah, that's
It
It's
was
not only
everybody.
for
It wasn't just,
foreigner.
yeah,
but
it
it was
wasn't
good.
just for foreigner. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so I really love this combination. This combination is perfect and can you hear me?
Again,
Okay. I
Yeah.
said, I love this combination. This combination is perfect as the reason why it attracts a lot of people. It attracts Chinese, it attracts all other, country people. It's a beautiful combination as compared to others. So yeah, I'm happy for you guys. I am curious
thank you.
about the name LA Soul. What does it mean? How did you come up with that name?
We were thinking about a few names, and then I wanted to have a name that brought, because in LA, dancing is a culture. It's really part of the culture. We have so many events in LA, and then a lot of these events are free because as we really push the Afro Latin culture to show people how inclusive it is. So we have everybody dancing: Asians, Jewish, Black, White, Latinos, everybody, and we all just get along. And you never see people fighting in a salsa club. You never see that.
Yes.
You just see people getting along with each other. Yeah. So I wanted to bring that culture, that not just the dance and the dance style, but the whole feeling to China. Because when I first came here, I was hired by another studio, and I was working for another studio teaching their style of dance, salsa. And I was like, the lessons are good and the information is good, but there's no joy. There's no happiness. There's no fun. There's nobody laughing and having a good time. So when we opened the studio, we were passing around a few names, and I said, okay, let's do LA Soul. And my wife said, yeah, it's good. And then what about how you say it in Chinese? Show?
When we do LSO, we have a lot of meaning because I come from LA, and we teaching LA Salsa, and we want to bring the LA culture to China. Yeah, so that's why we put the LA in the front, and then we got a soul because everybody will need a soul. When you're dancing, you cannot be like a robot. Yeah, you have to get a soul, and then you can get your passion and all that. So that's why we and the soul together. So also LSO, we also some Spanish people they would say la soul,
That's
very
so.
cool. Also yes, but when we like la soul, we change to Chinese, feel like a la shou. Sounds like it. Pronunciations are very similar. La shou means like a holding hands. So but when we dance, we always need to hold hands. right? So we have a lot of meanings, so that's why we make it at least so. So
Yeah, it worked out on so many different levels.
That's so nice. That's so nice. So my last question for you guys, what advice do you have for someone who have taken the lesson, it's really good, and want to start a business to become like you guys, but is so scared, like with fears, full of fears, don't know how to start? What kind of advice do you have for that person?
you mean the business like to become a social dance studio, open a studio,
Yes,
or
instructor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the dance, what you guys are doing right
Yes,
now.
business.
Somebody want to do the same thing, but is scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. If you want it, just go for it. Yeah.
We've been way up and I've been hoping for
6 years.
hoping that someone would come in and be like, teach me how to open my own studio. I want to be a teacher. I'd be like, man, thank you. Come here, let me show you. Because we want this to spread.
Wow. I've gotten a lot of wisdom from you guys, Mike and Avy. Thank you so much for sharing your story today. Listening to your journey reminds me that sometimes people think they are building a business, when in reality, they are building something much bigger. You built a place where strangers became friends, where people from different cultures found common ground. And in my case, you helped someone who was struggling mentally discover joy again. So thank you. Not just for teaching people how to dance, but for creating a community where people feel like they belong. Thank you. And to everyone listening or watching, thank you for spending time with us today. If this conversation encouraged you, inspired you, or remind you that community can change a life, be sure to show the world what you have or can do, because you never know whose life it might change. I am Emefa Woayor, and this has been Stories with Emefa Woayor. See you on next episode. Thank you. Bye.